Hi gang, it's me, Galen. Galen's got Parkinson's. Because most of my wargaming things are packed away, ready for the move, I am relegated, as it were, to doing watercolours. So they are watercolours about my fantasy world of Dural. So Sir Christopher of Reeford has set out on a quest, and he's heading towards the Temple of the Whitefriars. And on his way, on my map of Dural, he passes to the north the great hunting forests of the king of the sort of main human realm, which is called Arnak. So what I'm going to do, I've got watercolour paper, I've taped it down. That's important because what's going to happen when I put the medium on, and I'm deliberately not saying what the medium is because I want it to be a surprise. Also, I want you to see that this requires no so-called artistic ability whatsoever. When I was an art teacher, I used to say to the students, whatever your age, I've always been a big fan of Dadaism, and Marcel Duchamp, who started Dadaism as a reaction to the First World War, said he's the guy who put a toilet upside down. If it's art, if an artist tells you it's art, it's art. You can't argue with it. Whatever I do as an artist, it's art. So, nanas to you, basically. So I've covered it in water, I've stuck it down, it's stood up. You watch some of these watercolour sites and they'll say, oh, this should be 35 degrees or 45 degrees or whatever, however many degrees. I don't care. I don't know how many degrees that is. It's on a bit of a slope. When I put this on in a minute, we're going to find out whether I've made a good decision. This is proper ink. I say proper ink, I mean like watercolour ink. I've also got bottles of ink from a fountain pen shop. I don't recommend using your ink and washes that you use in your wargame paint, and I'll tell you for why. It is because they end up using a lot, and they are blob for blob more expensive than these. So straight from the, I've not got a brush, this is straight from the whatchamacallit that you get with it. Squeeze it on there. Oh, that didn't come out right. That's come out as a big skadonk. Put some on there, like that. Some of them. I didn't like that, that were horrible. But because it's watercolour, by the magic invested in me, I can go like that. Get rid of it. Ow, wow. I've got blobs all over. Got them all up here, look. I'm having a whale of a time, aren't I? I don't know what's happening here. I'll put that on. And then, if you're in the UK, you will understand this neck reference if you're of a certain age. And then, the shopkeeper appeared. Anyone who can name that reference can have 3 points. I should have put that down first. Oh, that was probably, I'm supposed to have a paper towel under here to protect the table. I have an old table. Now, when I say an old table, it's not really an old table. It's the kitchen table from my old house years ago. I made such a shambles on, mainly by spraying some undercoat primer onto some figures without covering up the table, that my wife shouted at me for quite a long time and then told me that I better have the table. I think it was worth the shouting. I've got a spray bottle up, little spray bottle full of water. You can use these for plants and things, and you just squirt it on like that. There we go, mist a mist. Give it a damn fine misting, sir. There we go. Give it a misting. For a long time, so these things, nothing happens. It's not because nothing's happening. It's because the reaction's taking a while to get going. So I've done the pale one there. Now, I'm going to do a slightly darker one. Sepia. Years ago, again, when I was a teacher, I was showing kids pictures of old photos of pictures in books and things. And one of the kids said, "Oh, there's a lot in here, sir, by that bloke Sepia. I like his stuff. He seems to do a lot of browns." I've tipped it upside down. There you go. I've tipped it upside down now, and I'm going to put lashings of water on. So because it's watercolour paper, because it's taped down, there's not too much can go wrong, really. I'm going to leave it for a bit. I'm going to dry my hands. But that's the reason why I've already put taped the paper down. I don't want the ink to go everywhere. I want it to have a barrier. The barrier sort of is here, I suppose. I can do that. The trouble with doing that, if you get it too near you, it sucks up the paint, and it can take away from the effect you're trying to get, because it can either dry it too quick or it can interfere with the flow. So you do need to be a bit careful with that. So I quite like that. Now I'm going to get all. I want to do green next, because I suspect this is a woodland. I suspect there's going to be some green in it. Call me old-fashioned. Get my little dolloper. I've no idea where I'm going. There's no plan. I'm not going. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'm just going to put some dollops. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put sort of dollops at either end, like that. But I'm not going to put them in the middle. Just because if I keep just going from side to side, it's going to get boring, isn't it? Bit more spray on here. It encourages it to do like this little look. There's all twigs appearing. I didn't know there were twigs there. Try to stop that one. Stop. Try to get it exploded into twigs. That's a bit dark there. Let's give it some spray. If I spray it for long enough, something's got to happen, isn't it? There he goes. Yeah, you don't know where it's going. Well, there he goes. Yeah, it's still very dark, that. I might have to take extreme measures there. And the extreme measures are going to be me going like that. There we go. Oh, it's still not come out. Come out! You swine. More spray. More spray, Vicar. See, if you couldn't do this on ordinary paper, because it don't like getting this wet. And it gets all grumpy. So you have to have watercolour paper. You don't have to have expensive watercolour paper. This ain't really posh, expensive watercolour paper. Now, because that's a mess, that's a mistake, I'm going to see if I can make it better by making a little mistake on top. Does that make sense? So if I keep making mistakes here, or if I keep sticking loads of stuff there, my theory is that the new stuff will hide the mistakes. I don't know if that's a good plan or not. I don't know what's happening. What's happening? Where am I? Let's have some more of that there. Put a bit down here. Encourage it. Encourage it. Encourage it up here. Ah, there we go. Well, I don't know what's happening there, but something's happened. There's a branch appeared. Here. Branches. Okay, so let's do, what was that? Okay, let's do blue now. No, that were blue. What was that? What have I just done? Where am I? Who am I? What am I? I don't know what I'm doing. Never. Come on, man. This is purple. Right. Oh, I like that. Okay, so in my head now, I'm thinking that these more subdued purples are actually going to be the main sort of orthodox trees. So we'll look where they might live. I got overexcited then. Right. It's a question of where they're going to live, really. There, I think. Some of them are catching into the water that's already there, like this fella. Some of them are not, because there's no water for him to come down into. So I don't want to necessarily spray at the end, but if I've got to, I've got to. Let's see where that goes. Just give it a sec. That one's not doing very much. See where that's going to go. It's going to go down here. La 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 la. Here we go, gathering nuts in May. You can do all sorts of things when you're painting. You don't have to sing, but it's always handy to have a backup plan. I like watching it. I just like watching the. What have you been doing today? Oh, I've been watching paint dry. Have you seriously? Oh, yeah, it was great. I had a fantastic time. My plan is to let those two dribbles get to the bottom before I go mental and do anything bonkers. Oh, I have a secret weapon. Here we are. Secret weapon. This is dead good. So I'm going to blow it. Oh, I like doing that. I bet I can do that all over the place. Hang on a sec, not spill me tea. Oh yeah. Ooh. So look at that. Ooh, I like that. Well, here's one. Spot one. Oh yeah. Oh, I like that. Oh, I do like that. So I think now what I need is, hopefully while I've been talking it's been drying. This is black. This is make or break, really. This could be awful, or it could be an act of genius. Thing is, you can't practice. It's a bit like Popeye philosophy. It is what it is. If I put this black on and this is wrong, I've just wasted 15 minutes of my life. However, if I put it on and it becomes a masterpiece, then think how wonderful it will be. Having said that, I'm 70 and I haven't painted a masterpiece yet. Stop. We're doing one. Just doing one. Against all the odds, I'm going to see what happens. Let's just watch that for a bit. Well, it's going just down as one tree. Right, so instead of putting water on now, I want more control. Let's put more black there. I'm not bothered where it goes. Trees tend not to grow where I want them, don't they? Okay. I think that's just going to carry on coming down to the bottom. Let's put one there. That's nice because it's gone through white. It hasn't just... Yeah, and it's going through quite a big area of solid, boring green. I like that. I like that a lot. Logically, what I should now do... Yes, they need all these black trees need to come to the bottom. And if they aren't coming to the bottom, they need to be encouraged so to do. That one's nice, it's coming down there really fine. Isn't it? Okay, let's come down here, mate. That's a good job. You're doing well done. I like that bit there. I don't want to spoil that bit there. I don't like that bit. So, you, fox sparrow, can I have one of them? I'm going to have some tea. Proper Yorkshire brew, that. Yeah, it's starting to develop, and interestingly, it's upside down. So you're not even seeing what it's going to look like. So, yeah, right, I like that. That sort of worked as a theory. Quite happy with that. Put some more black on there and get that coming down there. Bosh. Kapow. See, that's too thin there, because that's how wide it is there. But I don't want to make it thicker by putting stuff there, because it'll just come down here and it'll spoil that. So when I turn it over, I'll put stuff there, so it'll run that way, and that'll thicken it up once I turn it around the other way. So, first job, look for things you like, because you don't want to lose them. Or conversely, things you don't like, because you want to get rid of them. So, I don't like that, and I don't like that. I'm not sure that quite went how I imagined. But what you do, I once painted some trees, and I was painting these trees, I was spray painting, and it was a forest, and I'd done like a muddy ground, foreground, and I sprayed the tops of the trees until they started to run down like this, and one of them didn't reach the bottom. It stopped about an inch from the bottom, and I had no more paint, and I had this exhibition coming up, and I'd sort of, in smearing with a palette knife, the ground, it was a bit like mud, and it began to look a bit like a person. So I thought, I'll make it a person. There's no plan of this. And at the day of the show, at the exhibition, I was looking round, and I heard these two art experts, and one was saying to the other, I love the way Adam is growing from the ooze of the earth, and the symbolic nature of the tree that doesn't quite reach the ground, showing that man isn't attached to his environment. I thought, well, should I tap him on the shoulder and say, I'm sorry, mate, I just ran out of paint. It was the painting in the picture. I said to my mate who I shared a gallery with, I said, I'm not sure I should take this, it's not finished. And he said, well, I'll take it. And then I had another painting, and I didn't want to sell it. He said, well, I'll tell you how not to sell it. Whack the most ridiculous price on it you can imagine, and no one will buy it. It was the first painting I sold in the gallery. I was gutted. I couldn't believe it. Oh, flipping heck. Oh, best laid plans, etc. Just shows, doesn't it? So art's subjective. That's why I don't like art competitions. Oh, people who enter art competitions and things, they go, oh, why? What you after? Because if what you're after is fame and glory, you ain't going to get it by being an artist. Not till you're dead. Ask Van Gogh. Paint because you love it. Don't paint to make profit. I'm always going to do here. I'm going to put a Crackers red tree on for absolutely no reason than I personally like it. There you go, that's it, that's the reason. I do it a lot. If you look at my other paintings, you'll see I do it a lot. There's no reason for it. Makes no sense at all. So, what have we got there? I don't know. Now, I'm going to turn it over now. Now, this is a big gamble. If I turn it over too slowly, things are going to run sideways. So, the secret is, here we go. Let's do it quick. As we've been talking, as we've been talking, as if you've been talking, as we've been talking, it's the paper's dried. So I started off doing what we call wet on wet, and I'm now doing what they call wet on damp. Because the paper's not wet anymore, but the ink is. The secret now is to look at it and have a thunk. Art's more about thunking than doing. If you're not spending at least half your time thunking, you're doing it wrong. I'm wondering if that might be a thick tree covered in ivy. I don't know what Ivy's doing there, but she's obviously gone there and she's hugging that tree. So this, I'm going to try, this is an experiment, get away. Is this going to look like I can thicken that tree? No, is the answer to that. Because it's not dark enough. Can I make it dark enough? Can I make it darker? I don't know. No, not really. Not really. Give it a squirt. Oh, I like that. How did I do that? Why did that happen? I was trying to squirt down here and that happened. Oh, it's doing it in lots of places. That's like an aggressive squirt rather than a fine spray. Oh, it's going to be leaves, isn't it? Foliage. Oh my word. Things are happening. And I don't know what's happening and I don't know why it's happening. And I sort of like it and I don't know if I should. I don't know what I'm thinking about this. Is it because it's black? Is it because it's still a bit wetter than the others? Because I put it on raw last? I don't know. I honestly don't know what's happened. It's because it's wetter, isn't it? So the red's not doing it as nicely as the black does. Oh. Okay, I don't want any more black. I want to try and get something into this that's not black. What about that? Well, it's not black, I'll give you that. Sat back looking. That blue here has to come to the ground. There. Because it's the right way up now. That has to come down there. And I think as well that this has to fill in. I don't think that can stay like that. That pale is because I've actually got the bit of ink at the bottom of the bottle that isn't mixed. Now to push these trees back, I need something along here. Might be time to go back to this original colour scheme. So let's put that on here and sort of scratch it up and down a bit. I'm trying to give the impression of grasses and pointy bits. What have we got here? Oh, I know. Back end of a brush. Can I just scratch it in? What happens if I just do that? Yeah, it's better going. It's better going sort of up. They shouldn't all be the same height. Oh, that's quite nice. Scraping the paint out completely. Oh yeah, yeah. The ink's coming back though, but it doesn't matter, does it? I suppose eventually it's going to get so dry that it doesn't. What about up here? Look at that. Mustn't all be the same. It's vital that they actually look natural things. And grass is not all the same height. That'd be stupid. They could be seed pods on the top of a doings, couldn't they? You know what a doings is. Don't pretend. What about some branches? Little light twiddly branches. Things like this. I don't want to start getting a brush out and doing things. You see, oh, he's got a brush. I want us to do things that we have no control over, so that it's not our fault when it goes wrong. Yeah, I enjoyed that. And I think the point is, it's all about enjoyment. So that's the top. And when I take this tape off, it should give us a nice clean edge. Same here. Let's take the side off. And once you start framing it, it improves it no end. I'm not going to take the bottom one off because the paint is still ink, rather, it's still wanting to run down. You can see even at the side there, look, it's bled through. If I was the sort of person who framed paintings, a frame would hide, the mount would hide the bleed on the sides. So now, I come back. With the tape removed, we're starting to look like that. And what I can do now is I can take a picture of that. I'm going to take a picture of it with my phone, and then I'm going to ask ChatGPT to just turn it into a picture, maybe a thumbnail, for example. Then I might see what it does. If I say same picture but as a fantasy forest, same picture in winter, I'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll put them on the end of the video for you to have a look. This is not an idea for painting a perfect forest. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you want to sit for, after that was 30 minutes, if you want to sit talking to yourself with a bottle of water and a couple of random bits of ink, you can have a lot of fun just messing about like that and talking to yourself about the story that's unfolding before your eyes. That clearly is not an ancient medieval king's hunting forest. What it is a heck of a lot of fun. Ta-da, Chuck! And so at the end of the painting session, I went to the AI and I asked it to produce the picture as a mystical forest that I used as the thumbnail. And then I asked it to do the forest in spring, and then summer, and then autumn, winter, and then to add Sir Christopher from my model, photograph the figure, asked it to stick Sir Christopher into the picture, and then to do the same thing at midnight and stick a few wolves in. I didn't draw any wolves, I just told it to stick some in. Just now imagine you're doing a dungeon and you're a dungeon master, and you're describing the scene. Just imagine how much fun you can have painting the scene, and I use the word painting very loosely, and then whacking it through a few ideas on AI, and then keeping it, and then when you come to that bit of the adventure, presenting it to the team as an image of what you're describing. How fantastic is that? Great fun to make, great fun to AI, great fun to use in a game. There's no downside. I can't see a downside. And I painted. I did that incredibly quick and loose, deliberately to show you I had no plan. I didn't know what the heck was going to happen. But I know it doesn't matter. Okay, I've said it once. I've said it twice. They would not listen to advice. I said it very loud and clear. I went and shouted in their ear, "Ta-chuck."